Hey everyone, today I've got your The Hobbit Desolation of Smaug movie review. Now, I was so excited this whole entire year, just highly anticipating this movie, which is the second installment of Peter Jackson's Hobbit trilogy. I loved the first movie. I just couldn't stop watching it after it came out. As soon as this movie came out, I was like, I gotta see it again. I won't really spoil anything in this review, because for those who haven't seen it, obviously, you're going to be pleasantly surprised when you see this movie. The, really outstanding things that I found in this movie that really just drew me in the entire time. I love Martin Freeman as Bilbo Baggins. Now, he is continuing on this quest with these dwarves to reclaim the Lonely Mountain from the dragon Smaug. Right from the start, this movie was just really fast-paced. It was just going from scene to scene to scene, and I read parts of the book. I didn't actually read the entire thing all the way through, but from what I can remember from the movie, they definitely took a huge chunk out of this book and put it into this movie. So it'll be really interesting to see what's actually going to be left for the third movie. That being said, plot, I thought was pretty interesting. There were some returning characters, obviously, some new additions to the cast, one of which includes Beorn, who is the skin changer man who turns into a bear, played by Swedish actor Mikael Persbrandt, who I thought, honestly, should have had a bigger role in this movie. Now, I know they could have kept some scenes for the extended edition, which, has always been a tradition, even with the Lord of the Rings trilogy. So hopefully there's some more scenes with him in it. I was just really happy, to see him in this movie. And, he was just so cool, and, it was, absolutely crazy. Immediately go into Mirkwood. Now, Elven realm where, King Thranduil lives, and he's played by Lee Pace, who I think does another brilliant interpretation of the character, something that I haven't seen, because I actually saw the cartoon version of The Hobbit, and I didn't think that was anything, too special. What Lee Pace gives to this character, he is, just so intense, and the eyes, and it's all about his mannerisms and all that stuff. So I thought he played a pretty intimidating Elf King, and there's more to his story than I was aware of, which might be a Peter Jackson sort of thing that he added just for the movie's sake, but it was awesome nonetheless. And obviously, his son is Legolas, who's played by Orlando Bloom, who is returning for this movie, as well as the last Hobbit movie. And I was, immediately thinking, okay, a lot of people are going to be asking me, am I only going to be seeing this movie because of him? Because I was a huge fan of him in The Lord of the Rings, and in this movie, I'd say that he definitely showed a different side of him. Obviously, things must have changed in his personality, so seeing him really different and kind of showing off really not dark side, but just more of a cruel side to him. But he does change throughout the film, and I actually liked seeing him in more of his badass bow and arrow fighting skills. Elf Chick is added into the mix, played by Evangeline Lilly. Now, Tauriel, I thought, at first wasn't going to be that impressive to me, but I thought, she did a pretty good job. I was, really pleasantly surprised. There also seems to be a love triangle that I really won't get into, but I kind of have to say I hate that it happened, but I guess it actually makes sense, and might be sort of a prelude to something that'll happen in the third movie. I don't know. I wouldn't say it was unnecessary, but concerning one of the other characters in the movie, I wouldn't be surprised that it happened at all. We have Luke Evans in this movie playing Bard the Bowman, who, if you've read the book, you know how important his character is. And I'm actually really glad that Peter Jackson decided decided to flesh out his character a little bit more, give him more, depth and development. So it was cool to see more of his like backstory, because in the book he really was just sort of overshadowed by some of the other characters in the novel. So I'm really glad that they decided to go this direction. So many other characters. You've got Stephen Fry, who's just absolutely hilarious as the Master of Lake Town. Couldn't picture anybody else to play him. I thought he was just absolutely superb. I don't want to talk about much of the dwarves that much. I thought that they were all pretty cool, and I really liked how they were giving the main like 3 important characters, like Thorin, obviously, like giving him more of a, his story. And I thought, Richard Armitage, he's just awesome as Thorin Oakenshield. I just loved him as that character, and sort of giving the dwarves more of a personality. Now, I don't know if anybody's actually like, gotten like to know like all their names yet. I mean, I definitely know all the names, and I can tell like who's who. So, I mean, they're just like so awesome. But the granddaddy of them all in this movie, I have to give it to Smaug, played by Benedict Cumberbatch, with his voice and performance capture. Up until the release of the movie, they didn't really give much coverage of him, so leaving him to be much of a surprise. Now, he definitely was a surprise to me. I just loved him. Go in movies, he was probably one of the best portrayed dragons I've ever seen in my life. Aragon, haven't seen Game of Thrones dragons, and the Harry Potter ones need to just stay in Harry Potter, because those were just lackluster compared to Smaug. I mean, he really just brought a presence to the screen. He was intimidating, he was terrifying, and he's red. So I was really happy about that, as well as his interactions with Bilbo. Now, those scenes between Martin Freeman and Benedict Cumberbatch, I know a lot of people are going to continuously make Sherlock jokes, so I would totally love to hear them. Their interactions were just absolutely intense, and I just love them, and the voice, it was so awesome. I mean, this was definitely the year of Benedict Cumberbatch, let me tell you. Of Smaug was pretty good. The guys at Weta, thumbs up to you. I'd say as far as some of the other like animation goes, like throughout the entire movie, I feel like some of it seemed a little bit fake-ish. People have been saying it reminded them of a video game. Now, the only thing that would make sense there is the barrel sequence. Now, that is probably one of the best scenes in the entire movie, as well as Bomber sort of stealing the show. I actually liked how they sort of changed points of view in that scene. It was different, so I mean, I guess it's cool. I just loved how, fast-paced it was. It really didn't feel like this movie was like 3 hours long. The massive, massive cliffhanger at the end, won't give it away, but I don't think I've seen a better cliffhanger than this. It almost disappoints me in a way, because I know that we'll have to wait another year again just for the last installment, but I know it'll definitely be worth it, and there's just a lot in store for anybody who's going to see The Hobbit there and back again. I definitely say that this movie was just so exciting from beginning to end. A lot of different things that I thought really surpassed the first movie, and a lot of improvements were made, especially with Azog. I say that overall, this movie, The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug, was far surpassed any of my expectations. I would definitely see it again. Let me know in the comments what you guys thought of The Hobbit, The Desolation of Smaug. Do you think that it was better than the first one? Forward to the last Hobbit movie. And as always, you guys can subscribe to my channel. I've got more movie reviews, movie updates coming every week for a Child Thursday video. You guys can also like me on Facebook and follow me on Twitter. And I will see you guys later.